And I actually low-key love that. Like, I love the fact that it forces us to stay on top of things. Like you said, with ChatGPT, I definitely don't want to be in a scenario where I'm meeting with a client and they're asking me, hey, Linda, can we write our articles with ChatGPT? And I actually don't know the answer. I would hate that.
If you are interested in that answer, though, you must check out Inbound Buzz episode 133 when that gets released, because Linda's actually superstarring on it and she's going to answer that question.
How am I supposed to stay on top of all the industry changes? There's too much.
Welcome to the Marketing Mentors podcast, brought to you by Red Pandas Digital. I'm Tasha and I'm joined by, of course, the luxurious Linda.
Oh, God.
Every week I'm going to find a new L, just so you know.
There's a new describing word every week.
Yep, straight out. And if you didn't pick up on what Linda's putting down, we are talking about today staying on top of industry trends. There is a lot out there. And literally moments ago, Linda said to me, how do I make this opener a bit more captivating? And I'm like, I don't know, Linda, there's just so much out there. And I know I can struggle to stay on top of the trends that are going on and what's hot, what's not.
Let alone one part of marketing. We're talking about all of digital marketing.
Exactly.
There's a lot.
And there's a lot of pressure on us as an agency as well to be on top of industry trends, especially in digital sales and marketing. We have clients paying us big money every month to make sure we're bringing to them the latest and greatest strategies, tactics, ideas in the digital marketing and sales space. So it's a huge part of not only our roles, but our business. And it's too much for one person to do on their own. So in this episode, I'm really excited to share with some of the tips that we have and the things that we find work for us all to stay on top of that stuff. And it's, like I said, it's a collective effort. It's definitely not on one person. So if anyone's listening and they're feeling like, oh my God, I feel the same way, and how am I supposed to stay on top of these things? First of all, you're listening to a podcast. So that's like sign one that you are in the right place. You've got a good mindset. We're going to talk more about that in a moment, but there are so many things that you can do to stay on top of things. I think it's going to be important that you know what you want to stay on top of. Like in the industry, a lot of the stuff that we'll talk about is obviously skewed towards digital marketing and sales, but you can apply it to any industry. I think you can find these tips useful in different industries.
Yeah.
So with that said, Linda, why don't you kick us off with our first tip or point on staying on top of your industries as it's growing?
Yeah. So number one is utilizing the resources and the people that you have around you.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to talk from a point of view that I do have colleagues. I work in the digital marketing space, clearly. So I'm coming at it from that point of view. But if you don't have colleagues and mentors and things like that, well, also if you're freelancing, for example, look at those people around you.
Yeah.
Who can you utilize? Now, for us, we have so many experts in this company.
Or
we
SMEs.
we have so many subject matter experts, and that's you and that's me. And what I mean by that is that everyone specializes in something.
That's it.
We are generalists. Some of us are generalists, but we all have a specialty really that we focus on, being the company and the industry that we're in. So we like to hold masterminds here.
Yep.
And it's essentially where a subject matter expert comes to the table, we all meet in a group, and that person can just share with us something that they've recently been working on, something that they've learned. Maybe it's something foundational that to them is so 101, but to the rest of us, because it's not our specialty, we don't know as much about it.
100%.
So we love holding masterminds internally.
And I think that's masterminds internally as a business. But like you said before, if you're a freelancer, if you're by yourself, there's still mastermind groups, or these groups of people, like-minded people that get together and talk about things that are, trending. They're industry related. They're things that you should be aware of if you're in marketing, if you're in sales, if you're in coaching. And like Linda said, we hold these masterminds. They're very informal. They're not like, we have to have a mastermind every month. It's really topical. It's based on industry trends. And I know we're definitely going to talk about this one in a moment more in depth, but like ChatGPT.
Yeah.
When it first came out, I know that, Tony and Moby were on top of it on their podcast. And then we had a mastermind group. And then there's a Slack channel dedicated to learning more about that as it's coming out, because it is shaking up the industry.
Yeah.
So it's staying on top of things like that in these mastermind groups, and then little shoot-offs of what those masterminds look like. Are they Slack channels? Are they WhatsApp groups? Are they, general check-ins? But definitely this idea of learning from each other, like Linda said, is so key, because how can you be expected to know everything and learn everything? Knowledge share is a massive thing here. And yes, I'm going to geek out over HubSpot updates, but I'm going to come to you with them because I know that, you're going to have clients that might find that interesting, or you're going to come to me and geek out over content and Taya updates when those things come out. So it's sharing that knowledge and that transfer of knowledge that allows us all to to grow and stay on top of trends together.
And to a degree, there is a little bit of pressure, if you will, because we are so client facing, and it's not like we just have the one client, right? We're not in like a corporate company where we're just dealing within the same company. We're speaking to so many different people. And so if there is a latest trend that's hit, we are going to get that question.
Oh, straight.
If it's not from this person, it's from that person.
Or multiple times.
And I actually low-key love that. Like, I love the fact that it forces us to stay on top of things. Like you said, with ChatGPT, I definitely don't want to be in a scenario where I'm meeting with a client and they're asking me, hey, Linda, can we write our articles with ChatGPT? And I actually don't know the answer.
Yes.
I would hate that.
If you are interested in that answer, though, you must check out Inbound Buzz episode 133 when that gets released, because Linda's actually superstarring on it. And she's going to answer that question. Can I not just replace my content writer with a ChatGPT? So make sure you check that out. That was my little side spiel thing.
Oh, thanks.
No problems. But I think all of this is a really nice kind of segue into our second point for staying on top of trends and being, you know, hot off the press, what's happening, what's going on, is this idea of a growth mindset.
Yeah.
And we talk about it a lot here at Red Pandas. I know for a fact we've brought it up in many podcast episodes. It's almost like it needs to be, you know, it kind of is a value. We have a value for love of learning.
It is love of learning, yeah.
That's essentially growth mindset. So if you didn't catch that, growth mindset really is that my mindset is of growth. I've never fully reached my destination of learning everything. I'm constantly learning. There's always something more to be taught and to be learnt. And
what's that saying? If you're not learning, you're dying?
Yeah.
Wait, is that the
If
saying?
you're not learning, you're losing.
Well, I mean, we're all dying in the end of the day, I guess.
But I see where you're coming from, though. If you're not learning, you're definitely dying and losing. You're dying loser. Anyway. But there is the growth mindset, like, doesn't just apply to as a professional, but it's applying to having a growth mindset of things that are happening in the industry, just like, and we keep using ChatGPT as the example here because it is so pressing right now. Yeah. But it's like, what's it doing? How's it shaping the industry? How's it shaking up how our clients might be feeling about their work, how it's changing the way we work, and challenging the things that are coming out and how we can apply them to our business, our processes, and not being closed off to these new ideas. Yeah,
I think if you are, you know, creating a new company, let's say you're creating a startup, you have a new team, or you're a leader, I think about that culture and creating that culture of growth mindset individuals. So we said earlier, like, you know, that Slack channel, if there's something new or just something that we've actually learned that's not new or trending, but just something interesting that we feel like other people would benefit, we just jump on a Loom. Yeah. We record ourselves talking about it and we send it out to the group. And that's just a cultural thing now.
It's so cool.
Where we're just sharing different bits and pieces. Yeah. I love that. Like, that's that culture that we've created.
And it does so much more than just I'm sharing knowledge. I'm also kind of solidifying the knowledge in my head. Like, I'm doing this because I need to obviously remember it and be able to say it again in the future. But also, I know that one of you guys will find this useful and handy. And like, I know, like, I'm the first to send you guys Looms when something is updated in HubSpot. I'm probably more excited than what I have to be about it. But it's good though. Yeah, it's just part of sharing that knowledge and knowing that someone else might find some value in this as well.
And you're so right. It's so helpful teaching it as well.
Oh, you pick it up so much quicker. On that point, there's obviously you can do your internal sharing and your internal knowledge share, but there's this idea of, and you kind of just reminded me of it, is creating content like this, like podcasts or videos or snippets or whatever it is. Like, it could be like Elena's Ask Elena segment. It's that idea of I'm learning something and then I'm creating content to teach it because one, I'm trying to grow my own skill set in it, but also share the knowledge. Yeah. Because it's industry, it's relative, it's pressing. I want to share it out there for not only my clients, but the industry that, you know, we've got a bit of a following in. So that growth mindset is a huge point around staying on top of trends, knowing what's coming, knowing what's hot and what's not, essentially. Yeah.
I mean, growth mindset can tap into so many different things, right? Yeah. And it's stuff that we've spoken about in previous podcasts, whether it's, you know, reading certain books, you know, trying to do certain principles like habit stacking, which is where, you know, you're trying to do a bunch of things that are beneficial for you within the same period. So maybe it's exercising while listening to a podcast, for example. That's habit stacking. So keeping that growth mindset is so
Where's habit stacking from? Is that from Atomic Habits as well? Or?
Maybe it is. Okay. Yeah, I can't remember
interesting.
now.
Really interesting. I like that one. Yeah. I like that. So that's you also mentioned on our notes here subscribing to newsletters, obviously finding the right types of blogs or content sources that are pertinent to your industry so that you can stay on top of that type of stuff. Like there's a bunch for digital sales and marketing. I'm not even going to go there. Red Pandas is one.
True.
But I know for like...
Shout out to Luca.
Yeah, for things like...
do you have any faves?
Well, look, not from a sales and marketing point of view. Well, obviously there's HubSpot because I want to stay on top of the product. But in terms of business insights and just business analytics, a client of mine many years ago introduced me to... Boston Institute's Insights, and the other one was McKinsey's Insights.
Oh, McKinsey, yeah.
Which both of them I find really interesting because they talk a lot about like business transformation, digital transformation, and less on the software as a service, boring managed IT stuff, but more on the operational side of business.
Yeah.
What does digital trust look like in the new age? Where are business leaders feeling apprehensive to giving other businesses their money?
Yeah.
And like that's obviously because of the role that I'm in and wanting to grow more into in that operational side of things, I'm keen on learning about that type of stuff. Yeah, I'm
my
interested
newsletters change every few months.
Yeah.
I notice I unsubscribe to some, and then I find other things, and they're more relevant to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like there's one that I've subscribed to at the moment, and I love it. It's so good. It's from a company called The Good.
Okay.
And it's all about e-com and CRO.
Yeah, nice.
But their newsletters slap. Like they're really, really good.
Nice.
So I'm really interested in their content at the moment. They're affiliated maybe maybe they're not to Impact Plus.
Okay, cool.
But that's how I found them.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, Impact Plus.
Yeah.
Like some of Marcus's personal emails, or personal sales, not salesy, they ask you answer style emails. They're great. I really enjoy those.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily overly new content. It's just being written and delivered in a way that's
great storytelling.
Really good storytelling, very consumable. I can read it while I'm having my breakfast or whatever type of thing. Yeah, and there's some really key insights. And then Chris Marr's
I love
more recent
stuff,
coach insights and coach updates. So there's different things. But like to Linda's point, our newsletters, our subscriptions change.
Yeah.
Because we're staying on top of things.
Yeah.
We're staying on top of business processes, digital marketing and sales processes, what's hot, what's not, what our clients might be interested in.
Yeah.
We have a right to our clients to come to them not only with what's trending, but what we think might strategically help their businesses grow.
Yeah.
Because when we're so much more than just a marketing department. We're revenue operations, we're sales and marketing, we're customer success. Like we come to them with all sorts of solutions to business problems.
Yeah.
So that's hence why it's such a broad subscription type.
Yeah.
But it's what we have to do for them. And it's that growth mindset that allows us to be so open to that. And you'll never hear someone here say to a team member or even to a client, that's not in my job description.
Yeah. Yeah, we're always figuring it out, yeah.
If we don't have the answer to like an accounting problem, we're like, look, I don't have the skill set to that.
Okay, that's not us.
But I know someone that will. And I can help you in that direction. So it's that real growth mindset.
I think we're lucky as well because we mentioned, of course, our American business partners. You know, things hit them first before it hits us. And now that we have that resource, we're so lucky.
Yes.
In that we can figure out what's going on in the wider world before it even comes to us yet.
Yeah, and we all know that, like Linda said, things hit America like a good maybe 5 years before they hit us.
Yeah.
So we're a little bit behind here in Australia, obviously. But on the note of our American partners, there's another thing, like our final point that we'll talk about in terms of staying on top of trends and keeping up with business, technological updates, if you will, in the digital marketing and sales space, is I love this one. It's this idea of observing and just keeping an eye on your competitor. Because, and when I say competitor, I don't mean the guy down the road that has a business with maybe 2 or 3 people less than you. I'm talking about the people you want to be like. Typically our competitors, or the people we consider our competitors, are bigger than us because we are striving to be like them, right? Growth mindset. We want to grow. We want to be like them. We want to achieve the results they achieve. Prior to the partnership with Impact Plus, I remember Moby and I used to look at Impact and say things like, God, I can't wait to do things like that and have a team that big and do content like this. And they were the gold standard for us. We were trying to be like them because of the size and the culture and the results they produced. Funnily enough, as we're keeping an eye on our competitor, obviously they're based in the US and we're in Australia, so they weren't a direct competitor, but we solved the same things. Yeah, we solved the same problems. Lo and behold, we get approached to form a partnership. Yeah. So we kept an eye on our competitor. I'm not saying take an acquisition or a partnership with all your competitors, but it's interesting how keeping an eye on what your competitors are doing, it's not obsessing over them. You should be obsessing over your customers.
Yeah.
But just keeping an eye on what they're doing, seeing if they are doing something completely different to you, as in like speaking about something that is so off the radar, whether that's good or bad, I'll let you come to that conclusion. But it's keeping your finger on the pulse with the people that are doing the same things that you're doing. Moby and I will always say just swim in your lane. Yeah. Don't keep looking to the side. Like, you don't need to obsess over what your competitors are doing. Yeah. But it's good to just keep an eye on them. That's
I agree.
You can't sit here and tell me that Pepsi's not keeping an eye on Coke and vice versa.
Yeah. I remember I had when I was a marketing manager for a particular company I won't name back in the day, I had an interesting chat with the CEO where I had mentioned I was just noticing a few things that the competitors were doing. It might have come into COVID. I can't actually remember now. Actually, it did, because we went online with our product anyway. And he had said to me, don't look at any competitors at all. Yeah. I don't care what they are doing. We are completely in our own lane, and I don't want to base what we're doing off them. And I kind of understood that, but to a degree, I definitely approached that with closer line with what you're saying. Yeah. And that I think it's good to just have your finger on the pulse and just see, how you're aligning, where you sit in the market. Yeah, that's all information that's good to know, whether you do anything with it, whether you don't. It's just good to just have that basic research.
I totally agree. I totally agree. It's just that, like I said, that idea of observing, just being aware of and seeing what's going on out there. Like, if they're completely talking about something different, whether or not that's good or bad, it's just being aware of that, so that you don't say the same thing, or maybe you do say the same thing and you mix it up. It's just like Linda saying, just put it out there. Yeah. See what's going on. There's no hard and fast rules. You don't have to agree with everything that we're saying. Right? Yeah. This is just our opinions. Yeah. On that note, that was really the 3 main points. Was there anything else you want to bring up in terms of staying on top of industry trends, that type of stuff?
Yeah, I think maybe just touching on the fact that, of course, we're coming at this from the angle of working in a digital agency, but I think if you don't have that, or you are a startup, for example, and you are solo or you're freelancing right now, I think just really look at the people around you and think, how can I develop this bilateral transfer of value type relationship with the people around me? Whether it's family, friends, someone that's in your industry, I honestly think it's okay to reach out to them. Don't feel like you can't, but they're probably looking for the same thing if they're in a similar position. But who can you reach out to and think, okay, how can we sit for a glass of wine one afternoon and just talk business, talk marketing, and just share our knowledge openly with each other? Yeah. I would 100% just look out to your resources and see who you can utilize in that space.
Hit Linda and I up, and
we always love a chat.
Always open for a chat, and we can do anything with this podcast, really. So if someone's listening, then they're keen to share some insights, marketing mentor related, any of the topics that we've ever talked about. We're so open to revisiting, working out more on, changing opinions as things are changing, coming back to staying on top of industry trends. Other than that, I think, we've ticked off all the things we said we wanted to talk about. There is so much. At the end of the day, I think staying on top of your industry as it's growing, take a growth mindset to that as well. Like, it's not going to stop growing. Yeah. So it's too much thing, and trust me, I feel it. I get it. That's a little bit not growth mindset-y. Yeah. So let's approach it as it's an incredible amount, and I've got an incredible support network to help me stay on top of it.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Linda. It's been a pleasure as always.
Likewise.
The luxurious Linda.
Until next time.
Until next time.
See you guys.
Bye.